Hello ladies and gents, welcome to Congo-Etu TV. Welcome to Congo-Etu TV's Top 10 News, the quickest and simplest news. Beginning with education-related news. An 11-year-old child has become one of the youngest ever college graduates after obtaining a bachelor's degree in physics at the University of Antwerp in Belgium. He goes by the name of Laurent Simon, or to say it in English, Laurent Simons, and he got a higher distinction than all other students after graduating with 85%. Now, what is even more flabbergasting is the fact that Simons also completed the course after just 1 year rather than the usual 3 years, and he is now the world's second youngest graduate behind Michael Kevin Carney, who received his degree in anthropology from the University of South Alabama in 1994 at the age of 10. His goal is to make humans immortal. He also wants to be able to replace as many body parts as possible with mechanical parts. What a goal and a brain. What kind of brain is this? Is he a descendant of Solomon from the Bible or from Jesus? I mean, this is fabulous. Still with education, a 50-year-old man from Chicago who goes by the name of Perry Johnson just graduated together with 3 of her children. She and one of her children have graduated from college, one of her children have graduated from high school, and then the other one has graduated from middle school. Now, what is interesting about this story is that this mom started studying for this degree about 3 decades ago. Yeah, about 30 years ago, she started studying for this degree. Now, according to herself, she stopped studying for this because according to her, her mom told her her kids should always come first. Now, her kids being her priority, she had to pause her education and make sure she was sufficiently taking care of her children before she can think about going back to school. So, finally here in 2021, she finally was able to go back and complete her education and get her degree. What an inspiration and motivation. I mean, this shows that you can always go back to school. This just shows that it's never too late to go back to school. I feel like this can also be a great example in a sense that it can be a great example to those who might not know what to do in this situation. So she decided to save a life and then continue with education because a life should always be a priority. School can always be resumed, but a life lost can never be recovered. This is absolutely amazing. Congratulations to this lady, and what an example for her children too. Now, to close the education-related chapter, a 17-year-old by the name of Raymond Adderley, who hopes to be the voice of the voiceless, is running for a seat on the Broward County School Board. A student at Lauderdale High School, Raymond has served as a class officer and a student advisor to the school board, but decided to run for a seat on the Broward County School Board because he had realized that his role did not allow him to make the change he wanted. He has a passion for politics since the age of 7. Think about that. When he witnessed his father being fatally shot, and that tragedy inspired him to give a voice to the voiceless. He also hopes to start a movement to get younger people involved in politics. Now, I think this is a genius idea. First of all, for somebody to think about joining politics at the age of 7, I mean, yes, that's a tragedy that happened, but man, to think about that at 7 and then at 17 to be where he is, that's definitely genius moves. So, support and salute to you, bro. I mean, what a vision. And, I also feel like every young person have to follow politics or be interested into politics, even just watching and following what's happening. Because at the end of the day, many people don't follow politics, but at the end of the day, we tell everybody to go and vote. So how do you expect somebody to vote the right people into seats if those people don't follow politics? So in reality, and if we have to be rational and reasonable, everybody has to be concerned and pay attention to politics because everybody have to vote. We tell everybody to vote, but we don't advise people that much to be involved into politics, whether it's just watching or just knowing at least what's happening every day. Because even if you don't want to follow politics, whether you like it or not, decisions that politicians take will impact you in one way or the other, whether you like it or not. Now let's go to some sad news. Finally, the little hope that we had has been crushed. It is official now. Sha'Carri Richardson will not be participating in the Olympics. Since she was suspended for a month, the hope was that she would get to compete in the relay competitions, which were supposed to start after her suspension was expired. But now the list has been published by the USA Track and Field, and unfortunately, Sha'Carri's name does not make the list. She explained that the loss of her mom just a week before her big contest put her in the emotions that intrigued her in taking the substances. Now, without trying to judge her, as we cannot know what it would have been like to be in her shoes, nevertheless, one lesson that we can all learn is that drugs are not good for you, as it might have devastating consequences later in life, even if it seems okay today. Another sad news: the president of Haiti, Jovenel Moise, has been assassinated in his home by a group of armed men who also seriously injured his wife, according to a statement and comments made by the country's interim prime minister, Claude Joseph. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, during the night of Tuesday 6 to Wednesday 7 July 2021, a group of unidentified individuals, including some speaking Spanish and others English, with an American accent, attacked the private residence of the president and fatally injured the head of state, Joseph said. The president's 3 children were safe, but his wife, Martine, was seriously wounded in the attack and was taken to a hospital in Miami Wednesday. According to the Haitian ambassador to Washington, Bochid Edmond, the president killers claimed to be members of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, as they entered his guarded residence. He adds that this was a well-orchestrated commando attack. Now, listen. It is unimaginable and inconceivable that a president can just easily and lightly be assassinated in this manner. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Now, these are some good news. If everyone encountered policemen like these ones, many that have died might not have died.
Hey there, I'm Sergeant McDonald. I know you've been sitting here a while, but we couldn't let you drive off without the child in the child seat. Deputy Gandenzi reached out to Walmart, and they got with the loss prevention officer, Kevin, and they donated a car seat to you. Yeah, I can keep an eye. Hey there, while all that's done, and that way we'll make sure we get it secured in there good for you. It's a brand new one.
These 2 deputies put this mom over, but realized her child was not in a car seat, and they provided. Now, being one of the people who denounces the misconduct of some police officers, out of honesty, I find myself in obligation to discuss this. To be fair, everyone who criticizes the police must praise in the same manner this act. An act like this one must go viral just like bad ones do, and that can also help deter police misconduct. I believe we can influence positively by publicizing acts like this one here. Even as small as it is a symbolic gesture, and I think every honest and normal person should praise this kind of act. Let's move on. A doctor and Congressman Ronnie Jackson and Congressman Devin Nunes are calling for Biden to take a cognitive test, citing Biden's recent behavior of whispering, citing when Biden fell when they said he was blown by the wind a couple times as he was going up the stairs. They also cited Biden's habit of using a note every time from his jacket, and few other things. Citing all those things, they are saying Biden should take a cognitive test. Now, when I hear all that stuff, this is what I think of.
The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. And that's not an easy question. In other words, they ask it to you, they give you 5 names and you have to repeat them, and that's okay. If you repeat them out of order, it's okay, but you know, it's not as good. But then when you go back about 20, 25 minutes later and they say, go back to that question, they don't tell you this, go back to that question and repeat them. Can you do it? And you go, person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I do it because I have like a good memory, because I'm cognitively there.
I mean, I don't know. Talking about presidents, former President and First Lady Jimmy and Rosalynn Carter mark 75 years in marriage, while they are also the longest married presidential couple in the US history. Now, the former president's advice for a marriage like theirs is to pick the right partner and make your marriage a full partnership, adding that they work out any differences every night before going to sleep. Now, 75 years is surely no joke. The divorce rate in America is very elevated. I am sure every person in America knows a couple couples that are either divorced or separated. Not one. I mean, everybody knows at least a couple couples. But anyways, Jimmy Carter has given us an advice. Those that have ears to listen, they can listen. Those who don't have ears to listen, it's their problem. According to an article by The Guardian, the Belgian government has announced they will be returning artwork illegally acquired from its former colony, the Democratic Republic of Congo, as it seeks to confront its brutal colonial past. The artwork includes statues, musical instruments, and weapons that were acquired illegally in Central Africa, mostly from what is now known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. Look, this is good news, as we cannot go in the past to redo things or rewrite history, especially that they recognize that they illegally acquired those items. So that's the least they can do, and return those things. That's the least they can do. You cannot go back in history and redo some bad things that were done. Lastly, coronavirus and its variants, or in other words, its brothers from another mother. The variant that has been worrying the most lately to the medical authorities and the government officials is the Delta variant, because of its very high propagating speed and the uncertainty about whether or not the vaccine protects us from it. First of all, I wonder why they give these viruses or variants such nice, soft and sweet names. It must be an intimidating name for people to take it seriously and feel concerned. I mean, even Corona itself, it's not a friendly name like Delta. Delta is friendly. Corona itself is not a friendly name. I mean, Corona. You see? I think all bad stuff must have ugly and intimidating names like Corona, Ebola or Ebola, diarrhea, or if it's cancer, for example, Hodgkin lymphoma. Those names don't sound sweet, soft, and that friendly. You see how it sounds? Those names sound like intimidating. So I feel like for dangerous variants like this Delta variant, they should have given it an ugly and intimidating name that people would be scared of. Give it a name like Saddam Hussein variant, or like Putin variant or like Kim Jong-un variant. People, whenever somebody hears that name, they'll be like, oh, they will be concerned. No, obviously I was joking. We don't want to give these viruses or variants people's names, obviously. But I feel like they need to start finding different names that won't sound that sweet. This sounds like, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like it's a deadly virus or a deadly variant or a dangerous variant. Delta. It doesn't sound that intimidating, right? So that's it for tonight, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching Congo TV's Top 10 News, the simplest and quickest news. See you next time. May God be with us. May God protect us, and we are still together.